Good morning, my lovelies. This is my first video in so long. So, funny story, before we get into all this, before we get into the video and everything, I just want to tell you a funny story. My laptop actually broke, right? I dropped the computer off my bed and the charger piece to the inside like snapped off. And it was like broken and like rattling around inside, and I took it to Best Buy, and the guy at Geek Squad was like, yeah, there's no fixing this. I actually wound up getting a Mac for $600. Yeah, brand new MacBook. So it was my mom's birthday on the 20th of July, and for her birthday, her colleagues at her job, or her job, right? Actually got her a $300 gift card to Best Buy to put towards the computer, which was so super sweet and awesome. And when we got to Best Buy, it turns out that the computer that we wanted originally, which was a PC, was no longer available. Like, they had done an update for it, and it was basically obsolete already. So when we went to talk to somebody, the sales rep at Best Buy, she was like, oh, well, since you're going to be doing, videos and video marketing and, blogging, we think in my personal opinion, the Mac would be better for this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And so she sold us a Mac, and it turned out to be $200 cheaper than it usually is. Yeah, a Mac on sale for $200 cheaper. And when we were checking out at the counter, they actually didn't have any more in stock, so we had to wait another little while, which wasn't a really big deal. But some other guy came up to us and was like, yeah, this little girl, meaning me, is a student, so give her a student discount at another $100. So we actually, with all of the discounts and all of the sales prices and all the gift cards that my mom got for her birthday, we wound up only spending like $600 and something, little less than $650. I know it was less than $650 for the MacBook, which was actually cheaper than the PC we were going to buy originally. Yeah, talk about divine intervention, because seriously, that's incredible. We just demanded the universe for a new computer, and then we wound up getting everything we needed and then some for less than the price that we would have spent on a lesser quality product. That's pretty awesome. Can I just say that that's pretty awesome? That's that. And here's our new computer, and I finally get to learn how to video edit and properly on a MacBook, which is actually something that I've wanted to do for a really long time now. So that's my little story for the day, and I just want to, share that with you. So yeah, let's get into the topic. That's how to be yourself and not changing for other people, but while being yourself, being the best person, the best self that you can be. Now, I've been reading a lot of books recently, and those of you who follow my blog and everything know that I love reading Napoleon Hill's work. I think that Napoleon Hill is just absolutely phenomenal, and I think that you need to go out and you need to buy everything that he's ever written and read it and study it and learn from that, because that is really what changed my life. One of the topics in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is the 6 Ghosts of Fear, and I think that this plays more into being yourself than it actually does in acquiring money, because without this kind of foundation, we really don't know where to go as far as building our confidence and building our lives. Yeah, so this chapter is called The 6 Ghosts of Fears, and the 2 fears that I think are the most prominent that we see on a day-to-day basis are the fear of criticism and the fear of failure. And I think that this is why it holds so many people back. For instance, in my past, I always feared failure. I was the kid who, unless I was with a group of friends, I would sit in the back of the classroom and I would get all the answers right in my head, but I would never raise my hand because I was so afraid of getting the wrong answer. And unless I was with a group of friends, I never spoke out. I never felt like anybody wanted to hear what I had to say. I was always the quiet person that sat in the back of the room. And it's funny to think of it now, because if you know me personally, you know that I'm crazy. To think that I was that afraid to actually speak up, and though I would get all the answers right, on tests and quizzes and everything like that, I would still be so afraid to speak in front of the class because I didn't have any confidence. I was so afraid of failing and having people like criticize me and laugh and point their fingers and do the things that like kids do when it's all fun and games until it's on them, right? Another thing that I want to talk about is to model people whom you look up to. This can go for a lot of different things. Like, I've helped a lot of people recently kind of realize that they can be so much bigger and better than they are. I'm very, very happy about that. And it's not weird. And like they say that like copying is the biggest form of flattery. Like, don't be weird about it, guys. Let's be real. You can't go up to somebody and start wearing the exact same things that they're wearing, copying their speech and stuff like that. Though, I mean, if you do spend a lot of time with somebody, you are gonna, start talking like them and, start mimicking some of their body language. But as far as like copying people, just in general, like people whom you look up to, whether it's a celebrity, whether it's a boss or a person in your family who's successful, anybody who's more successful than you, whom you look up to, really look at their personality and what embodies their personality and pick out the things of that personality that you like the best. So for instance, if say your boss is like really, really carefree and outgoing and you want to be carefree and outgoing, start to mimic some of the things that he does. Start to engage a little bit more in what he has to say and what he's doing, and start to talk to him a little bit more and want to know more about, his life and stuff like that. Or maybe you have a relative who's very, very successful and makes a lot of money or something to that effect, and you want to know how they make all that money. You go to them and, ask what they do to acquire the money that they have and acquire the success that they've had. And they'll tell you probably that it's self-made, because most of it is. Most success is. Then you can mimic some of the things. Maybe they'll give you a book to read. Like I'm always telling people, read this book, read this book, read this book, Maybe they'll give you something to listen to. Maybe, they'll tell you, oh, it's all in your mindset or something like that. This also comes into play in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, as well, because he talks about the power of the imaginary council, and he would have all his favorite people in history that he feels were the most influential sit around the table, and they would have conversations with each other. And he wants to take the best or his favorite personality trait from each of the characters of his imaginary council, and he wants to implement them in his life, which I think is very, very cool. The next thing is on my little list that I have. Don't take advice from people who are less successful than you are. And that's something that I know a lot of people do all the time. It's easy for you to want to do something, want to accomplish something with your life, and have a relative or a significant other or any kind of spouse or person close to you tell you that it isn't a good idea because it's not the norm or it's not, standard. But genuinely look at that and look where it's coming from. You wouldn't take relationship advice from somebody who's been divorced 4 times. And you wouldn't take money advice from somebody who can barely keep a job and has never done anything to support themselves and is still, mooching off their parents at, 45 or whatever. You wouldn't take advice from people like that, yet so many people let words from people of that nature to hit them home. You know what I mean? I've had this problem before too, people who, tried to bring me down, I let them bring me down. And it's normal. Like feeling upset like that is normal. But as long as you get back up and you're always like pushing forward, you'll be fine. So I think that those are basically all of my key points on how to be yourself for now. I had a lot of trouble. Like I tried to write this blog out, but I think that it kind of needs to come from like the spoken word as opposed to the written word. So I had this, all written out, all nice, but I think it really needed to be said, not read. So yeah, those are my key points. I hope you really enjoyed my video, guys, and because that's my purpose, is to entertain you and to help you embrace who you are as a person, because you're all so perfect, and I love you all so much, and thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and share and subscribe, and if you got value from it, then just follow me on my blog, and there'll be links wherever you are to my Instagram and my Twitter, and subscribe to me on YouTube and all this other stuff. If I put this on video on YouTube, I'm not sure where this video is going yet, so we'll have to see. I hope you liked it, and I love you and thank you. And if you want to learn how to make money blogging and creating videos like I do, then put your email address in the little box and you'll be sent all the information. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.